morning, students. Today we are going to discuss about one of the information systems. There are four types of information systems, as you all know that. One type of information system that we are going to see is actually called as Executive Information System. It is also called as ESS, Executive Support System. There are two names for this one. One is it is also called Executive Information System, and also it is called as Executive Support System. See, I already told you from the beginning, there are four levels of people working in any organization. The lowest level of the people are called as workers. The next level is called middle managers. The next level is called senior managers. And the fourth level is called executives of the organization. Now the fourth one, the top level of the organization use this executive information system. So an executive information system is actually called as EIS. It is also called, it has another name also. Please note it down. It is called executive information system. It is also known as executive support system. So in the exam, if the question is going to be asked for you, ESS or EIS, both of them refer to the same name. This is actually used by ESS or EIS is used by senior management of people. That is the strategic management of the organization use this information system to make decisions, to make their decisions, because they want to see the decisions, make the decisions looking at the holistic view of the organization. They don't want to look at each and every individual or each and every department. They want to make a decision just only considering the holistic view of the organization. So there are two types of decisions that is made in any organization. One is called routine and the other one is called non-routine. Now I have to explain to you about what is routine and what is non-routine decisions. See, there is something called decision making is one of the important thing that has to happen in any organization. If you look at any organization, decision making is very important. Now look at the current scenario of the world. The world is going through a very difficult time with regard to COVID-19. So there are many decisions made by each of the countries and around the world according to the prevailing situation. So this is an example of a non-routine decision. Means nobody thought about COVID-19 last 1 or 2 months before. But now the scenario has come like this, that everybody has to actually act and take decisions. When you are going to have a situation, or when you are going to have a scenario which was not planned and which was not thought, then how you are going to act? Acting on a particular scenario is called decision. So acting on an unknown scenario or unplanned scenario is called non-routine decisions. So this executive support systems actually is going to help in making non-routine decisions, because this involves not an easy way to make a decision. For example, what is a routine decision? For example, if somebody is not coming to the university for a certain number of days in a normal setup, they give absent in the system, and automatically after certain time they give the first warning, they give the second warning, and they give the third warning, and finally when it exceeds the limit, they say that thank you, you are out of the course. This is a routine decision. Means there is no need to think on anything. It will happen automatically because the procedure for making the decision has been defined. Whereas now the university has going for online teaching. This is actually not planned in the beginning of the semester, but the universities and colleges are closed for 1 month and the students will actually lose the rhythm. So in this situation, the university has decided to go for online learning. So before making this online learning possible, they have to make a judgment. They have to evaluate and they have to get an insight. What they are going to judge? Are the students having the mobile phone? They have the internet connection? Because now I think you are getting for free the internet from DU for accessing DU domain. This is something like this evaluation. Are we ready with the servers and everything is ready? So this is evaluation. So it needs a lot of data. How many people are using Moodle in the university? How many teachers are using? What are the softwares needed? Do we have a software? So many aspects are considered and then a decision is made. So this is an example of a non-routine decision because it involves judgment. You have to judge whether if I do this, what will happen. If I am going to make evaluation, what is evaluation? I am going to study whether this is okay or not, and then insight. I will insight. I will go in deep to see that what is actually the scenario that is going to emerge out of it. So these are the things that you are going to consider in this one. So now let me sum up this slide. An executive information system is used by the senior managers for making decisions. These decisions are non-routine decisions which are not planned before, because these decisions are taken due to unexpected situations that arise. These decisions require judgment, evaluation, and insight. I hope it's clear for you until now. I am not running a slideshow because I want to edit the slides. That's why I am not running a slideshow. Now you can see here what are the things that you have to have or incorporate in actually the ESS. Number one, the data will be present in the form of graphs. That's one thing. Here the data is not going to be given in the form of reports. You are not going to have reports. You are going to have graphs, charts, because when you are going to give the data in the form of table, because you are going to deal with a large amount of data. As I told you in the beginning, ESS is going to deal with the holistic view of the organization. When you are going to deal with the holistic view of the organization, you have to actually present the data in a graphical format rather than a summarized tabular format, because to come to a situation of understanding the trend, what is trend, I will show you with an example later. Trend and the pattern and what could happen because of the trend that's happening, this is very important for decision making, and that is called insight. Insight means that the market is going like this for the last 6 months. With the current conditions not going to change, maybe the condition will become like this in the future. This is what you are able to decide from the ESS. So the data will be given in the form of a graphs. Mostly it will be given in the form of graph, and you have something called dashboards. You don't have only one graph, you have many graphs, so that the top management or the senior executives can get a very clear view of the organization, to make a very clear decision what is good for the organization and all the stakeholders. Now the most and next important thing is that data is not from only the company or organization resource, because that in TPS it is only from the customers and the organization. MIS uses the data from TPS, and in DSS you use the data from MIS and TPS, and sometimes you can also use the data from external resources, but here the data is going to come from many sources. So how the system will be? It will be a web interface. Like an interface means what? The screen, shasha, you say shasha in Arabic. It's like a computer screen where the senior manager will sit and he will be able to see the whole scenario of the company and the data that is happening in his organization live. It is not like 10 days before this was the situation. He wants to know what's happening now. So now, for example, it is given through a portal. You see, for example, our SIS is a portal. We have a SIS. What is SIS? Student Information System. It's a portal. What is a portal? Portal means which is hosted in the web. Any software which is hosted in the web is called a portal. That's why if it's a portal, it will have web interface. What is a web interface? Web interface means you will be able to access this system through internet using any web browser such as Google Chrome or Firefox or Internet Explorer. So that means what? Most of the time this system is actually coming to you in the form of with a user interface, and it is launched for access by everybody in the senior management as a portal. Portal means any software that is actually launched into the web, and it can be accessed through a web interface. What is a web interface? How we communicate with the web? We are communicating with the web using something called web browsers. Web browsers examples, that Google Chrome, Firefox, Internet Explorer, and many more are there. So you are going to have the screen in front of you. The data is coming to come from different sources, and the data is going to be presented to you in the form of graph, and you are actually going to log into the, or you are going to get the access to the system anywhere in the world. You are not, it is not necessary you have to go and sit in the company to see the information, because it's a portal, it is web enabled, you can see it from anywhere. As I already told you, the data is coming from external sources also here. That means you will also have the data about your competing companies, how is their performance, what are they doing, and also you will get the data from your internal MIS and DSS also. You will also get the data from internally from your organization, from the MIS and DSS, and also you will get the data from external resources also. Now, what actually this system will do? It will filter, it will do the filtering of the data, compress and display the important data to the senior managers. As I told you, the senior managers or the top level executives are not interested to see that whether one student, for example, there is a student called Ahmed in my class, did he attend the class or not? This is not the concern of the top level management. This is the concern of the worker in the organization who is in the low level. The middle level managers who are using the MIS, they want to make a summary of the reports, like how many people attended the classes in a one particular day. This is what they want in their department. Whereas in the DSS, they want to know what is the situation with the entire college, for example. And the last one is the senior management. They want to see how is the trend going on in with the online classes. That's what the senior level management wants to know. Also, it includes something called business intelligence. What is business intelligence? See, in the market, in any business, the market is actually very unpredictable. Sometimes we say that the market is going to be in boom. Sometimes the market is expected to be bullish. Bullish means it's going to be very, very powerful. But sometimes it ends up in bearish market. So, in this situation, the business intelligence helps us to understand the pattern or the trend, and then we can do forecasting. You know what is forecasting? We analyze the trend, how is the market going on for the last 3 or 4 months, and from there we can actually analyze and we can forecast. Forecast means what? We can understand what will happen in the future, and we can be able to make a very drill down to get in-depth idea to understand what type of decisions that we have to make. So now an example is given here for the ESS. I hope it's clear until now, these two slides. Number one, we have explained about ESS, what is non-routine decision, who is using it, why, what is non-routine decision and why it is important, we have seen. And we have seen also how the data will be presented, what are the sources, and how the senior managers will access it. What it does, it also compress the data and able to find the trends, and so that we can do forecasting and drilling down the data to get greater levels of detail to make very good decisions. Now I am going to the next one. The next one is the example of ESS can be a manufacturing company on his desktop. I am actually having a manufacturing company, like for example I am having a manufacturing company. I want to know what's happening with my manufacturing schedule, because you see always you get an order, you have to manufacture and you have to send it to the customer. So you are running a manufacturing company, so as an example he wants to know what is happening every minute, like the financial performance as with working capital, accounts receivable, cash flow, inventory. There are many things he is just monitoring. He wants to see the situation with accounts receivable, how much money he got in the today in this moment, how much is payable, what is the cash flow, how is the stock, and also he has to see, for example, he has to manage the whole holistic view. So this is an example of ESS, the manufacturing company ESS. The example which I am explaining to you here is that a manufacturing company ESS provides on his desktop. As I told you, it is going to be what? Desktop or web enabled. Okay, it can be web enabled or in the desktop. Desktop you will see in the computer screen, minute to minute. Okay, view of the firm's financial performance. I want to see what's happening. with the financial performance. What are the indicators that I am going to check? I am going to check on the working capital. I am going to check on the accounts payable. I am going to check on the accounts receivable. I am also going to check on the cash flow, and I am going to check on the inventory. These are the 5 parameters I want to monitor. Like for example, when you are going to forecast the weather, you look at the humidity, you look at the temperature, you look at the wind speed. Many parameters are considered, and then you look at the clouds. Many things are taken into consideration to come to a conclusion that maybe inshallah tomorrow there will be a rain in Salala, for example. So this is what is the idea applied here. Here what you are going to do, you are actually going to have a live view of the financial position of your company by considering the 5 factors that is very important for the financial health of your organization. Number 1 is working capital. Number 2 is accounts receivable. Number 3 is accounts payable. Number 4 is cash flow. And number 5 is inventory. Now with this, you can see that I will just show you the screen here. This is how a ESS looks like. And ESS looks like this only. If you look at the ESS has many graphs and charts. Like I told you, there are 5 parameters. You can see each of these in 5 different graphs, and you can see that what's happening. This is called a dashboard, digital dashboard. What is a digital dashboard? You have, dashboard of a car. In a dashboard of a car, you have many controls, audio controls, you have the speed control, you have the fuel indicator, you have the RPM, how many rotations are made by the wheel. So many things are seen in the dashboard. So similarly, this is called a digital dashboard of ESS, where you can see different parameters of the organization which you are interested to see. You can see in one screen in your desktop, and you can see it changing live. That is very important. It's not an historical data. The data is a live data. It is going to reflect to you as a manager to see what's happening now, what is the current situation. Because in decision making in this type of situation, it is very important to consider the current live data rather than depending upon the historical data. Because today's business is dynamic. It's not static. Every day new opportunities, new threats and new challenges arise in business. So that's why you have to understand this particular idea clearly, and you have to make it easy for you. I hope it's clear for you until now. Now let us go to the next one. I am going to make a separate video of this one, example of the ESS, so that you can see what I am trying to explain. This example of the ESS will be shown as a live video shortly after this. I don't want to add everything in one video so that the video becomes very big. It may become very difficult for us to upload and download. Okay. So now the summary of this chapter. We have seen that there are 4 types of information system. First one is TPS. It is called transaction processing system. Transaction processing system. This is used by the lower level management or by the workers. It actually records all the transaction processing system, records the transaction between a customer and the client. Customer and the client are a system between the organization and the customer or the client. MIS is used by middle level managers, management information system. MIS, that's the next one. It is used by middle level managers, and the data is actually taken from the TPS, transaction processing system. It will produce summaries like routine reports, monthly report, weekly report, something like this. It will produce standard reports. The next one is we are having something called decision support system, like the decision support system. It is used by middle managers support system. See, it will help us to support this is going to help the middle manager, the senior managers, to make some decisions based on some comparative data from other organization and from your own organization. It will produce some graphical format reports so that you will be able to analyze the data in a better way, and you can make some good decisions. ESS is used by senior managers, and it produces all the data in the form of dashboard. It is mostly web enabled. The data sources include MIS, DSS and also other external resources. It is helping in, it uses business intelligence to drill down the data, make analysis of the data, analytics, and forecast what could happen. So this is called executive information system, which you have seen just now from me today. Executive information system. So these are the four types of information systems used in any organization. So already you know what is an information system. Now in this chapter 3, you learn what are the types of information systems. Thank you very much for listening to me. Please play this video again and again and try to make sure you understand the idea, so that when we have our open interactive discussion, you will be able to answer you will be able to answer my questions, or you can ask me any queries, so that you will be getting it very clear. So this slide which I put you now is just only about executive information system. Already we have put the recordings for the other three systems. Please review it and try to see it. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi barakatuhu.